Welcome to the Gavel. I'm Linda Akibe. The National Assembly, in the space of 2 months, lost 2 federal lawmakers in the Senate, Senator Uche Chukwumerije and Senator Ahmed Zana. Now, the Senate on Tuesday suspended plenary to honor Senator Ahmed Zana, whose death was the most recent. The Senate also held a valedictory session in honor of Senator Chukwumerije and Senator Zana. The Senate during the week held a joint valedictory session in honor of the late Senator Uche Chukwumerije from Abia State and Senator Ahmed Zana from Borno State. Senator Chukwumerije died at the Turkey International Hospital in Abuja on the 19th of last month at the age of 76, while Senator Zana died last Saturday at the National Hospital in Abuja at the age of 60. Leading the eulogy at the valedictory session, Senate leader Victor Ndomaegba lamented the demise of Comrade Uche Chukwumerije and Senator Ahmed Zana, both serving senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Other lawmakers also spoke about the qualities of the late senators.
Senator Chukwumerije and Senator Zana share so much in common. One, they died just towards the end of this particular Senate. But importantly, they share the common love for the ordinary people. They share the love and service to their respective peoples. While Senator Chukwumerije will be fondly remembered by people of Eastern extraction, especially the Igbos, for his stand, his support, his courage during the unfortunate war of Biafra. Zana too will be remembered for his principal stand during the period of insurgency in the Northeast. They threw themselves into the fight and they won the admiration of their respective peoples.
When Chukwumerije speaks, he speaks, as you know, slowly, not very loud, but we all listen. He's one of the few senators that when he speaks, we all listen. May his gentle soul rest in peace.
Lawmakers also called for the total overhaul of the health system in the country and called for special centers to treat terminal diseases in the country.
The lacuna that we are having in our health system is something that touches equally and fairly every one of us that are still living. And I believe that with the national health policy in place, deliberate effort should be made by the incoming Senate for the 8th Senate to ensure that specialist hospital that will address those critical ailments that takes life out of us overnight, attention should be given to it.
In his remarks, Senate President David Mark described Senator Chukwumerije as a patriot who left no one in doubt on where he stood on any particular issue, and as a chairman of Senate Committee on Education, he was determined to improve the level of education in the country.
He was an economist, an educationist, and a journalist of repute. Chukwumerije left no one in doubt as to where he stood on any particular issue, regardless of the nature of the issue. Chukwumerije, like Professor Adeye said, and all of you are aware, was the chairman of the Senate Committee on Education. He was determined to improve the level of education in this country.
The House of Representatives began working on the Petroleum Industry Bill last week, taking a look at the different clauses in the bill, one after the other. Now, the painstaking process has lasted more than 2 weeks, and in the process, some lawmakers raised some observations and even made some objections to some clauses in the bill. But we're left to wonder how far the House can go before passing the Petroleum Industry Bill, bearing in mind that the 7th Assembly is in its twilight days. Jumping right back into the clause-by-clause consideration of the Petroleum Industry Bill, Federal lawmakers made some more observations in the PIB which they had issues with. Top on the lists, lawmakers were divided over how much should accrue to the country from exploratory licenses issued to prospective companies in the petroleum industry. Honorable Kiai Jugbahu from Borno State had raised an observation on the clause which deals with holders of exploratory license to prospective operators in the industry and the monetary benefits therein. He argued that in the draft report of the committee, revenue from activities of oil companies to be used for the takeoff of river basins exploratory activities was pegged at $4 per barrel of gas and 20 cents for a barrel of crude. However, when the clause came up for consideration, the said provision was nowhere to be seen, prompting agitation and counter-agitation from lawmakers from the South-South and their counterparts from the North. There was then a back and forth between lawmakers again on the matter.
The investors that we are talking about is they can only invest when this oil flow. And if we are producing 1 million barrels a day or 2 million barrels a day, by the time we have these frontiers developed, our capacity will now build and they will make more profit inside. So they will invest more.
That we need to have more sources and that we need to have the ability for us to take advantage of the entire basins that we have in this country and the entire storage, or rather the availability of petroleum products that we have in our land. And of what importance is it that you put in something and spend huge amounts of money without actually getting what is expected of it?
When the investors see that what they are going to pay is so high, this investment. It is not going to encourage investors. It's going to cause this investment. So I think that we should look beyond, because the argument is that what is being budgeted now, this money is not money that is going to be budgeted. This money is the money that investors are going to pay to the Frontier Services Agency.
Given the disagreement, Deputy Speaker Emeka Ihedioha intervened, urging lawmakers to sheath their swords and allow the committee to go back and take a second look at the clause and report back.
This is a very weighty, very weighty submission. Mr. Chairman, I will throw the ball. I will ask your committee. I would demand that you should not be in a hurry to bring your report to us tomorrow. We'll give you till Tuesday to report back to the House. So you utilize from today and make all the consultations you need to make and all the inputs. Get all our colleagues who have anything to contribute to this bill to yet again avail themselves of all the issues.
The Chairman House Committee on Environment also made another observation on the need to redraft some clauses that conflict with the NOSDRA Act.
Over years, we have this overlap function of NOSDRA and DPR. And if you assign the same function to this particular act, we'll continue to have further overlap functions. And there is no way a polluter of an environment will, of course, clean the same environment and come up with compensation for those that their lands are affected. If you will leave it in their hands, one thing will happen: the integrity of such reports will be in doubt.
To this end, the Deputy Speaker, Emeka Ihedioha, inaugurated a committee to harmonize the grey areas. He therefore announced the suspension of further consideration till next week, Tuesday.